Brad came here to represent the new Elite panel that's just come into the market. I'm going to do a tiny introduction about it because I've been involved a little bit. They've invited me to their press conference, and I spent some time over at Sharp's headquarters. Somebody's calling it. Kevin?
You switched the input for your meter?
Oh, yeah.
Your powder generator?
One generator?
What I know about it is from mostly a conversation with Russ Johnston. Russ is a personal friend and a business colleague. He's the executive vice president of Pioneer. And he got me on the side one day and said to me, when we made our announcement, which was about a little over 2.5 years ago, that we were exiting the flat panel business, we partnered with a physical partner of ours that owns a piece of our company, Sharp Electronics. We took a bunch of our top elite guys and we told them some of our secrets, and particularly in video processing and some of the culture behind the product. And we worked side by side with Sharp engineers, and they only had one objective: to build the world's best television, to deliver the best picture. There was no price objectives. That's quite unusual in engineering and design of the TV. They just wanted to build the best product, and so that's what's come 2.5 years later, and that's my little bit of the story that I can add behind the scenes of what I know. Thanks very much, Brad.
You just stole my first 2 minutes.
Did I really?
How's everyone doing? My name is Brad Lyons. I'm the field training manager for Sharp Electronics. Over there is Tom Evans. He is the vice president of the Elite brand. The first question I always get is, why is there a Sharp guy standing in front of you now talking about a Elite television? Pretty simple explanation, and you actually mentioned it perfectly. The development of this TV, it's not necessarily Sharp, not necessarily Pioneer. What we did was we got some of the best engineers from Pioneer together with some of the best engineers from Sharp, put them in the room, did not give them a budget, which is a scary thing to do for engineers. But when we put them in the room, literally the reference television was that Pioneer Elite Pro from about 3 years ago. Because I think everyone in here knows just how special that particular television was. That was a reference TV. We literally told them we would not come out with a TV if we did not come up with something close to it. This is the TV we came out with here. And this is a new Elite television, again, not necessarily a Sharp, not necessarily a Pioneer. The first slide that you saw, it was perfectly black. The one thing that really made that Pioneer Elite special was black. I think everyone can agree on that. As you can see with this particular television, exceptional black levels overall. You can even compare it to some of the plasmas you see on the wall that have always excelled with overall black levels, and you can see very, very strong black levels overall.
Hey, can we cut the one row of lights off so maybe you can see that a little better?
You want to go back to the very first slide to be able to see. This slide is a perfectly black slide, so I like to be able to show it one more. There you go. So this is actually a full black image coming through, and as you can see, the overall black on this looks exceptional. I do also like to mention to custom install guys that you can defeat that power light on the front, so you have a perfectly black image overall. And we can go ahead and go to the next slide. Perfect. This is kind of the Elite technology hierarchy, and I'm not going to mention all the stuff on this television because we have some very well-educated people on TVs in here, so I'm not going to bore you with all the normal stuff. All I'm going to go over is what makes this particular TV unique to anything else in the world. The first thing is the Elite technology hierarchy, and leading the cause is intelligent variable contrast. That's kind of the brains behind this entire television. As you can see, you'll see some influences from Sharp. One good example is RGB plus Y. So this TV does have that additional yellow subpixel. RGB plus Y is very similar to Quatron, except it's been tweaked and enhanced specifically for this TV in order to be able to show off the ability of what that RGB plus Y is capable of doing. We also have Precision Color Plus, and I know one gentleman mentioned that there's 6 million dots on all of these TVs. That's true except for the Elite television. We have RGB and Y, so that means there's 8 million dots to create the overall image. With Precision Color Plus, that now means we have the ability to control each and every one of those 8 million dots. This is an X-Gen panel as well. That simply means it's coming out of our Sakai facility in Japan, the most advanced LCD manufacturing facility in the world. We're the only manufacturer right now that has a 10th generation facility. All that means is we have the capability of stamping out larger and larger TVs and making them more efficient than anybody else. That's why you only see this in a 60 and a 70-inch screen size. They're also hand-picked out of that facility, so it's literally getting the best of the best. Next thing will be fluid motion. We don't really get into the numbers game as far as 60 hertz, 120 hertz, 240. Ours is fluid motion. We do have the ability to go to low 120, high 120, and then all the way up to fluid motion. So if you want to defeat all that, you can, or you can actually fine-tune it as much as you possibly want. Next thing will be this is a full array LED. So we've ran LEDs along the entire back of the screen as opposed to edge lighting. With edge lighting, you can have a lot of difficulties evenly lighting here and evenly lighting here. That's why you get hot spots and cold spots. Some manufacturers have issues with hot spots and cold spots with a 40-inch TV. You can imagine the issues you'd have with a 60 or a 70-inch screen size. We've eliminated that problem completely and run LEDs along the entire back of the screen. That also opens up the door for true full array local dimming again. And those of you that have seen some of those TVs in the past 3 or 4 years, it was a very, very excellent picture quality and great abilities to make blacks. We do have a heck of a lot of different zones. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to mention how many zones. Yes or no?
Proprietary.
Okay, proprietary information.
Lots.
I know you'd be very, very happy if you were to know the numbers, and I know one of the numbers was mentioned. There's a heck of a lot of them in there, and most people would be very, very happy with how many zones are going to be there. But since it's proprietary information, we won't be sharing that today. All right, next slide. We'll go one more time. All right, next thing is going to be 3D functionality. The thing that makes this particular television special compared to most of the other TVs is the 2D to 3D conversion. You can do a 2D to 3D conversion on anything you send through to this television, including streaming video. The big advantage of that is you also have a 16 slider. I'll go ahead and grab the remote, hit the 3D button. It'll let me go up. I'll go ahead and select 3D, 2D to 3D conversion. The advantage I like is there's a button on C. When I go ahead and select that, I now have a 16-step intensity level to be able to play around with that 2D to 3D up conversion. So if I have really good quality content, I can go all the way up to plus 16, and it'll be a very strong effect. I can also go all the way down to, let's say, a plus 5 if I'm converting streaming video as an example. The other nice advantage is going into 3D as well. I can go into my 3D brightness boost, which will be button A. Because the content on here is very, very dark, you won't be able to see a huge difference, but I'll be able to go to high, medium, and low to be able to show off the ability of brightness boost in 3D. So this is an excellent TV to be able to sell for a customer that has this TV in a room with a lot of ambient light. The reason why that's important is because you're wearing active shutter glasses. Active shutter glasses will usually cut overall light output of the television in half, sometimes up to 75%. So it's a very important thing to be able to have a very, very bright TV. With that additional yellow subpixel, the TV can get extremely bright. One of the advantages of that RGB plus Y. The other big advantage is because that yellow can get very, very bright, to have even amount of output versus the competition, we don't have to run our LEDs as intensely. Therefore, it'll be amongst the most energy efficient TVs in the world at each of their size categories. So another good thing to bring up to the customer.
Brad, what was that flower at the bottom? OPC.
What's that?
What was that? Good question. Yeah.
That's the ambient light sensor that
Yes.
the gentleman was talking about earlier. If you go under a menu option, go to picture settings, OPC will actually be on. And when it's on in display, you'll see the leaves. That just simply means it's a green-friendly type of feature. For most of the customers, definitely just have it on, or if you want to defeat that, you certainly still can. And you can go ahead and turn that off as well. So in a room like this, obviously that feature is not going to be one of those that's going to be talked about too much. Next thing is the actual glasses themselves. This again separates us from any other manufacturer in the world. On the left-hand side of the glasses, which 2 glasses will come in the box with this TV, there'll be a slider switch. When you go up once, that will put the glasses into 2D mode. Up twice will put the glasses into 3D mode. The big advantage of that is you can be watching in 2D while you watch 3D on the same TV at the same time. So that customer that happens to get viewer fatigue or eye strain or headaches, that customer can now just go from 3D to 2D, not disrupt the rest of the people watching in 3D. I've been in a lot of situations where the actual decision maker doesn't like 3D, and that's a major problem when they're looking to be sold a 3D television. And right now, all the premium TVs will have that. That'll be something that's proprietary to Elite and to Sharp as well.
No, I think that's on the Panasonic glasses too. 2D mode on the 3rd generation glasses.
Yes. Are there?
Yes.
That is true. Okay.
But you guys are first.
Well, we were first. Next thing is going to be smart TV. The big advantage to the smart TV for us is going to have all the usual suspects: Netflix, Bluetooth, Cinema Now, all those kind of things. But Elite Advantage Live is what really separates this from everything else in the world. When you go ahead and hit the apps button on the remote control, you will see a bunch of different apps that pop up on the side. I'll go ahead and if I were to select Elite Advantage Live, it would be a split screen. You would then be able to go to something called live support. When you select live support, a 1-800 number will pop up and then a connection number for the television. When you give that customer service rep the 1-800 number, who will be based in Romeoville, Illinois, so it's based out of the United States, it will then ask for that connection number. When you give them the connection number, they then can remotely access your TV through the internet. So anything that I can do with this remote control standing here, they can do from Chicago, Illinois. As an example, I would be able to say, my skin tone's a little bit red, can you fix it? They can go through that internet connection onto your TV and actually make the adjustments for you. It's available for the life of the television at no additional cost as well. So very good customer service, very friendly customer service overall. These will be some of the specifications. As we've mentioned, you will have THX certification in 2D and 3D mode. This is an LED TV, one of the few in the industry that will be THX certified in 2D and 3D mode. ISF calibration page with a hidden menu for you guys so you don't actually go in and mess it up. You do have IEP control and DLNA certification also. These will be all the specs that you have here, 5 HDMIs and RS-232. And that'll be about it for me. Next slide will give you a website you can go to get more information if you'd like. Any questions for me at all? I know I didn't do that good of a job. Thank you very much for your time.
You say you're trying to make this TV as good as the Pioneer.
Yes.
Okay, because there's a lot of stuff going on the internet saying this is the hero killer. It's, you know, that's the end of the Pioneer's reign as the best TV out there.
Sure.
Would you say that that's true?
I've seen it side by side against some of the best TVs in the world, and that's what this whole event is about here. It holds its own against everything I've seen. I've seen it next to the Pioneer Kuru from a few years back. The one thing that jumped out to me more than anything else was the advantage in overall detail. Was the Pioneer still a great TV? Without a question. Will that still be the reference TV? There's a possibility. But this TV certainly rivals almost every aspect of what that TV was capable of doing.
Right.
And that was the point of this whole project. This was literally in development for over 2 years. So it wasn't something you just got in a room, figured out, and put it out within 6 months.
Right.
This was a very lengthy process, and we needed to make sure we came out with something as good as we possibly could to be competitive with the best in the industry.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.